Good morning. I'm going to call to order this meeting of the Monroe County Board of Commissioners. It is Thursday, July 2nd already. Yeah. And I will note for the record that Commissioner Madeira and myself are here and present in the Nat U. Hill room. And we're going to begin with our public statement read by Commissioner Madeira.
We, the Monroe County Board of Commissioners, renew our commitment to welcome and protect the rights of all people, regardless of age, race, color, creed, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity, marital status, economic status, and national origin. And we affirm the right of every person to live peacefully and without fear. And we will fight and resist at every step discrimination and harmful policies, whatever their source. We believe in diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. We also stand in support of our county public school systems, both RBB and MCCSC.
Thank you so much. We'll now turn to our department updates. We'll begin with the health department. We have Ms. Kelly joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, commissioners. Just a few updates. According to our data from the wastewater scan, we're seeing very low levels of COVID, flu, and RSV. The health department does have vaccines available. We are scheduling appointments. The number to call for an appointment is 812-803-6364. And lastly, just a reminder, the health department offers free walk-in testing and treatment services for chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis every Thursday between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m.
Great. Thank you so much. Any comments or questions?
No, thank you.
All right. I don't either. Thank you so much for joining us again. All right. Next, we have Mr. Stephen Miller, Veterans Affairs Officer. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. I wanted to tell you about two things this morning. The first is I want to give you a little story about a veteran's situation that I've run across recently. Oftentimes in our office, what we do are VA disability claims for injuries, illnesses, or diseases that a veteran incurred while in active military service. In order to do that, we will order their military records from the National Archives. And in February, I helped this one veteran. They've been out for a very long time, and we ordered their medical records, their personnel files, and their DD-214s from the National Archives. It usually takes a month or two to get those records in the mail to the veteran. And after it was about 3 months, we realized that we weren't getting those records, so we contacted an Indiana senator who was able to put in an inquiry and got those records in 2 days. So what we found, though, was not necessarily what we were hoping for. We found that the records of that veteran had been destroyed in the fire of 1973 in the National Archives. Back in 1973, there was a fire that destroyed between 16 and 18 million veterans' files from the Air Force and the Army, from starting in World War II all the way up through Vietnam. So that sounds like it's a no deal then, but we are going to work on getting additional records, unit level records, anything that we can get to try to help identify the injuries that this individual had and get them a good VA disability claim. So we're not done, but this is part of what we have to go through on occasion to try to help get veterans connected to the benefits that they deserve. Additionally, I wanted to tell you kind of very quickly about the new property tax credit in the state of Indiana for disabled veterans. Veterans are able to apply for the new property tax credit for the state of Indiana. Everyone who is receiving that benefit needs to actually refile for that benefit according to the state. We're here to help. We're going to be doing walk-in clinics from July 10th, 17th, 24th, and 31st from 8 to noon to have folks come in to work on those packages. We've got a real good system with the auditor's office. We're making it really simple. The veteran comes to us, we'll do our part of the paperwork, get it to the auditor. They don't have to deal with any of the running around. So again, we're going to be doing those walk-in clinics on the 10th, the 17th, the 24th, and the 31st from 8 to noon. The veteran will need to make sure that they bring 2 different documents with them so that we can process the benefit. They need to bring their VA award letter or the annual VA tax letter. That's the letter that comes out every November that tells the basics of your of the benefit that you receive. And they also need to bring their DD-214. So once we have those things, we'll be able to complete the package for them and get them going in the right direction. So that's all I had for you folks today. Is there anything that I can help with or any questions that you have?
I don't have
As someone who's personally been, burned by that fire that destroyed those records, I so appreciate your efforts to work through that. Thank you so very much. That has had a devastating effect on my family in particular. So, and I think on millions of veterans. So thank you so much for fighting for our veterans.
You're very welcome. It's my pleasure. So thank you so much, and you all have a wonderful rest of your day.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, it's an amazing story. And,
Yep.
and we do encourage folks in the community who are veterans to contact your office
Yes.
if they have questions about anything. And if you could give your phone number again, that would be great.
Absolutely. Yes, my phone number is 812-349-2537. Please call early and often.
Great, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Okay, next we have our recorder, Ms. Amy Swain, joining us. Good morning.
Good morning. I love being able to follow up Stephen, because the Recorder's Office and the Veteran Service Office work closely together to serve our veterans. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about today, knowing Steve was right before me, is that you see how diligently our local veteran service officers work to help the veteran get the records that they need. There's a company out there that is charging more than $100 to expedite the process with the National Archives. And normally it's going to take that 1 to 2 months, as Stephen said, and there's really no expediting to it unless you work with the Veteran Service Officer. And so if someone comes into our office to get a copy of their DD-214, which they can do, we always encourage them to visit the VSO so that they learn about updates like the new tax credit that Stephen was talking about. I also got a call yesterday from a local woman who had just had property transferred into her name, and she got a letter in the mail. And they said, for $285, we will give you a service that will alert you if anything is recorded against your property. And I was able to happily tell her that the Recorder's Office, in conjunction with one of our business partners, offers that service for free. It's called Property Watch. There is a link to it on the recorder page of the county website, and I would encourage everyone to sign up for that free service. Again, it's called Property Watch. It will give you either text or email alerts, your choice, when anything is recorded that matches your legal description or your name. I will say, if you live outside of city limits and you have what's called a meets and bounds, that's METES, meets and bounds legal description, you may get an alert when it is someone in a similar township, range, and section. So it might be your neighbor. But it's a really easy and, again, free way to know when something is recorded that matches your information. I let everyone know that we're trying to use all methods possible to get the words out about these questionable business practices that are going on, when you can get them from your local recorder's office at no charge. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
I don't, but this is very helpful information. And there's always a service that's out there that costs, exponentially more than the services we provide in our county government to taxpayers, many of which are free. The rest of which are at much lower cost. So, but again, so few taxpayers know about them. So thank you so very much.
Welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you for bringing this to public attention. Great, excellent, excellent. All right. We also have Ms. Purdy is going to introduce our. Get up to that podium. You're the next contestant. Come on down.
Come on down. So I want to introduce to you guys formally and to any of the other departments who may be watching this on CATS or Teams, but this is our new HR director. This is Melissa Stinson-Waddell, and she's coming to us with a lot of a background that's going to be very beneficial to Monroe County government. So do you want to share anything?
Sure.
And tell them a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. I do come from county government. I have worked in county government for over 17 years in the Brown County government. Prior to that, I worked for the Brown County School Corporation for 16 years. So very familiar with the public sector and working for the citizens of the counties. So, and I was in HR and worked as a commissioner's assistant for 12 years. So I do have background in benefits and in employer services, worked in payroll in the auditor's office, so well-rounded. So, and I appreciate the opportunity to work here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for being here today. We're really excited, and I've heard only incredible things about you so far.
Well, thank you.
So that new HR person, oh my gosh, she's great. That Mel, she's great.
Lots of reading.
Yeah,
Yes.
so thank you. You hit the ground running, and it's almost budget time, so.
Yeah.
I'm very
There's a lot going
familiar
on.
with that.
Yeah,
Right.
may have wanted to time that differently, I'm just kidding. But, yeah, but thank you.
All
Thank you
right,
so
thank
much,
you.
and welcome.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Thanks.
much.
Yes, I'd like to echo everything Commissioner Thomas said, and welcome.
Any other department updates? You raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. All right, seeing none, we're going to open the floor to public comment. Public comment is reserved for items that are not on the agenda. You may raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. We ask each person to limit their time to 3 minutes and to provide your name and county of residence before you begin speaking. All right, I do not see anyone for public comment. So I do want to make an addition to our very short agenda today. I would like to move that we add item AB at the end of our agenda, which is a ratification of the emergency declaration for June 18th.
I will second that.
All right. All those in favor of approving the agenda change, say aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Excellent. All right. With that, we'll now move on to the next item, and you can make one motion. That would be great.
Yes, I would like to approve move to approve the minutes for June 18th, 2026, and for June 25th, 2026.
I will second that. Any comments, corrections, or edits?
I have none.
Okay. All those in favor of approving the minutes for June 18th and June 25th, 2026, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Next item, please. All one motion again, please.
Yes, I would like to move to ratify the claims dockets for accounts payable for June 18th, 2026, for accounts payable for June 25th, 2026, for payroll for June 12th, 2026, and for payroll for June 26th, 2026. And I did that in one breath.
You did. That was awesome. I will second that. And I won't make you repeat it. Good morning. Ms. Gallardo is joining us. I wasn't sure who was presenting today. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. The accounts payable claims docket for July 2nd, 2026 totals $2,179,040.02. This includes all emergency claims and adjustments.
Thank you so much. Comments or questions?
I have none.
don't have any. These were approved at various
Well,
junctures.
She
and-
just read for today,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
was not
sorry.
part of the motion.
Right, so
So-
we've
so
not
to
done
do
today's
Monroe
yet.
7. Yeah.
Sorry,
Can
did
you,
Yeah.
yeah, can you review the previous, because we're ratifying what we
The
did?
numbers?
Mm-hmm.
I would have to go get those dockets.
Let's not do that then.
I think these were presented at
They
that
were
meeting.
presented.
Presented at past
Yeah.
meetings,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep, okay. So one moment, we'll be back with you.
Okay.
Do you have any comments on any of the ratifications?
Nope.
Okay. And let's see if there's any public comment on the ratifications of the June 18th and June 25th packets. All right. So have I sufficiently covered that for
I
ratification?
think so, yes.
Great. All those in favor of ratifying the accounts payable for June 18th and 25th and payroll for June 12th and June 26th signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Now we'll have another motion, and I'm going to have you read that again.
Okay. Yes. I would like to move to approve the claims docket for accounts payable for July 2nd, 2026.
I will second that now.
Okay.
Please, thank you.
The accounts payable claims docket for July 2nd, 2026 totals $2,179,040.02. This includes all emergency claims and adjustments.
There you go. Thank you so much. Comments or questions on July 2nd?
Nope.
All right. Any public comment on this item? You raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. Thank you so much, Ms. Gallardo. All those in favor of approving the claims docket for accounts payable July 2nd, 2026 signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Now, we will move on to, I will note for the record that we've received reports from the Treasurer's Office, they're both April and May of 2026, Weights and Measures June 2026, and the Clerk's Office for May 2026. And we will now move on to new business.
So I would like to move approval for the record software agreement, fund name Cumulative Capital, fund number 1138, in the amount of $24,000.
I will second that. Good morning, Mr. Crone. He's the Director of Technical Services Department. What can you tell us about this?
All right. So we've been using FTR for well over a decade now, and that stands for the record. That's our judicial recording software. The version that we're on is discontinued by the manufacturer, no longer supported. With architecture changes in Windows 11 that Microsoft's made, it's caused compatibility issues with the old version we have. So our tech services group has done very well to keep spitting Band-Aiding this thing back together to keep it running for the courts. So it's time to upgrade. The cloud version that we are looking at to go with here offers functionality that we've not had previously that the courts could use. One prime example is we have no way of, if a case is locked, there's no way other than annotating that they can put that. There was no block there, so it was kind of relied on people being honest about it in the system. So this gives them permissions, gives them tighter controls to be able to control who can see what between the courts and any confidential documents. It also gives them the ability to redact, annotate in real time, options we didn't have before. It's cloud-based, so it is accessible from anywhere by any of the staff. It would make it easier for the process to share documents with attorneys and things like that because it can be done through the cloud and not through flash drives and things like that the way we do now. One advantage to this system, it does put all the data storage in the cloud on FTR. Right now we have 4.5 terabytes of recorded data. So moving forward, we need to look at other solutions for that storage and backup, which FTR would then take care of that. I am in discussions with them about whether they will take this 4.5 terabyte we currently have and move it into the cloud under this price tag, whether there be an additional charge or whether we need to just maintain that old archive data ourselves. So that's still moving forward. But the terms of this agreement are for 1 year. We wanted to run it at least once and then talk to them later. If everyone agrees with the courts that it's working well, then look at longer term contracts. There is a training period with this contract that FTR would come on site, train all the court services employees to get us through the system.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Comments or questions, Commissioner Madeira?
None. This is actually a really super critical function, and this is I can't say how much I appreciate the careful research you've done on this software option, and thank you.
I definitely want to give a lot of credit to court services and the court offices. We actually had FTR come on site and give us a quick demo. They got to ask their questions. Jamin Chandler, head of court services, has been very involved in the process. So a lot of the credit goes to those folks.
Excellent. The question I have for you, if you get out your crystal ball, do you think it's going to be approximately this much per year to maintain this if we decided to stick with them? Because this is really, you're renting cloud storage and not really buying software, is that correct?
No, you're doing both. You're buying
Okay,
software. This is all cloud-based software as a service, what's known as a SaaS.
Okay.
So you're getting that FTR recorder. The data components, it's all bundled together, but it is a separate component of that. So going forward, all cloud-based services, all softwares take an annual increase.
Yeah.
Depending on what kind of terms you can work with them, dictates what your increases are going to look like. And along with, obviously, longer-term contracts offer some benefits. We just wanted to make sure this was a good fit for us based on the price tag before we committed.
Yeah, it's a prudent way to move forward, so thank you for that.
Yes.
So we would have to be buying the software again in the future.
Correct.
Along with the cloud storage space management.
That is correct.
Got it.
The data is always ours, so if obviously if we decided not to stay with the cloud base, want to go on-prem or go with another manufacturer, we have all that data. They will help us download back into our own repositories.
Awesome. All right, thank you so much. Thanks for answering all the questions. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. You raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the For the Record software agreement signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Thank
you very much.
All right. Next.
I would like to move approval for the proposal for valuation services between Integra Realty Resources and the Monroe County Assessor. Fund name reassessment, fund number 1224 in the amount of $6,900.
I will second that. Ms. Sharp is not here.
The assessor's office asked if I could cover this for them.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Cockrell.
And this is, while not routine, not extraordinary in that there is an appeal from an assessment for the property located at 1700 North Washington Street. This is the appraisal that the county needs to justify the number they have on that appraisal. So this is, again, this is site specific, but in the grand scheme of things, we do this quite often.
Pretty typical. Yeah. Thank you. Comments or questions, Commissioner Madeira?
No, this looks like a routine item.
It does. Let's see if there's any public comment. Thank you, Mr. Cockrell, for providing the information. Any public comment on this item? You raise your hand in Teams or come to the podium. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the proposal for valuation services between Integra Realty Resources and Monroe County Assessor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Next item, please.
Yes, I would like to move approval for the KNS contract for disaster debris, fund name County General EM Response and Recovery, fund number 1000 in the amount of $10,000.
I will second that. We have Mr. Baker joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. So this is a contract for the dumpsters that we have out currently at 3 different locations within the tornado path. One dumpster is located at the Liberty Church, and the other one is located at Mount Pleasant Church, and the last one is at the entrance of Morgan Monroe State Forest. These dumpsters are available for those impacted residents to dispose of household and construction debris.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm wondering if, first of all, TSD, can you remove that calendar from our screen? because I cannot read the captions. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. So I'm wondering if you could give us and give the residents an update on this cleanup process and how long those dumpsters will they're not there anymore, I believe. Can you give us more information, please?
Yes, so the dumpsters will be there until July 8th. So they got almost a whole week left. And I checked them yesterday, went out, drove around the area. They haven't been used yet, so we'll try and spread the word about them being available to the residents. And but NDOT, the Indiana Department of Transportation, has been out and about the impacted area, cleaning up the right of way within like 2 feet of the road and stuff. So that's been going on and will continue for the next few days until it's completed. They're helping the county highway department with that. And totes and some other supplies are available if residents need them. They can contact our office.
Right. Thank you so much. Can you provide some information about how this cleanup process is going in general? Are we in good shape? Do we need to think about extending the time on the dumpsters?
At this time, I think we are in good shape. But yeah, the trees have been picked up a lot with NDOT. That helped out a lot. And people are happy with the dumpsters and stuff, it seems like.
Great. Thank you so much. Do you have any comments or questions?
No, I'm very glad we can provide the service. And again, an essential service I think we can do. I would like to provide more, but at minimum, I think this is incredibly useful. So I just wish we would get out of the path of these darn storms.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen.
Right.
As much as I wish. And I do want to say that the governor's office reached out early on, and at that point, we had some discussion about tree debris, and you know, I drove through the area about a week after it happened, and you could smell the green. You could smell that had, you know, been decimated. I mean, you could obviously see it as well. And we're just grateful everybody's okay. We really appreciate the work at emergency management. So thank you to you and Jamie for all your hard work. I know it's been a lot, and hopefully, as Commissioner Madeira says, we won't be doing this again this year. But that's a wish. It's a good wish. But this is why we all need to take it seriously when there's a warning.
Absolutely.
It's important that we do the right things in order to save our lives. Property can be replaced, people can't.
Right.
And just a quick question, either for Angie or Jeff. This is coming out of rainy day, is that correct? Okay, thank you. I appreciate that the council set aside the funding in rainy day so that they could act quickly and get this done.
Yes, thank you. That was wonderful.
Yep. All right, with that, any public comment on this item? Raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. All right, seeing none. All those in favor of approving the K&S contract for disaster debris signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0.
I do have one question, actually.
Sure.
Do we have the addresses of these dumpsters published anywhere? Are they online on the website by chance?
They're on the emergency management website, I believe.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Yes.
They are on there.
Perfect. Okay.
Yes, they are on our press releases that we've been sending out, which can be found on the county website and our Facebook page.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Great. Thank you so much. Good question.
So just if anybody's watching and they want to know where they are,
Excellent. Mount Pleasant Church, Liberty Church, and the entrance to the Morgan Monroe Forest.
Excellent.
There we go.
Yes.
All right. Next item, please.
Excellent. I would like to move approval for the digital scanning project of historical documents by U.S. Imaging. And phase 2, fund name Recorders Perpetuation Fund, fund number 1189, in the amount of $178,000 and $23.66.
I will second that. Recorder Swain, thank you for joining us again.
Yes, it's nice to be here and talk with you guys about this project. It's phase 2 of a project to protect and preserve the contents of the physical books that are in the recorder's office that have yet to be digitized. There are approximately 300 books in the office. Phase 1 of this project was last year. This is to take care of the remaining books. It's to protect them from water and fire damage and deterioration. Mm-hmm. Most of our records are over in the archives, which has a dry fire suppression system. The one in the recorder's office is water. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's critical to get these digitized. Mm-hmm. The other thing is the purpose of the perpetuation fund is to protect and preserve those records as well as make them more publicly accessible, which this does. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's right in line with the purpose of the fund. And so, like I said, this is phase 2 of this project.
Yeah, makes sense.
We also went with U.S. Imaging. We've had prior good relationships with them and worked on projects. Plus, they will actually scan the books in our office. Right. They don't leave the premises. So I think that's another big point in their favor.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Comments or questions, Commissioner Madeira?
I think this is an essential project. I think this places us ahead of many counties in Indiana. Yes. I frequently have students, and I know of other people who do research in rural Indiana particularly, and they can't. You know, people go in, records are lost, and real legal outcomes hinge on the availability of this information, unfortunately. And so this can be catastrophic. So I really appreciate these efforts, and they can save everybody a lot of time and money. And again, I think this is wonderful. So I really appreciate this. This is great. Yeah, I'm so glad we can do this.
Yeah, this is what perpetuation funds are for, and yes. it's great transparency for the public, and yes. Preserving those records is part of yes. our history, so I appreciate that. And you noted here that you have had TSD review yes. this contract as well, so I appreciate that. All right, let's see if there's any public comment on this item. You raise your hand in Teams or come to the podium. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the digital scanning project of historical documents by U.S. Imaging, and this is phase 2, signify by saying aye. 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 Motion carries 2-0. And next item, please.
Yes, I would like to move approval for Eastern Financing Rental Agreement for a large format scanner and printer. Fund name Recorders Perpetuation Fund, fund number 1189, in the amount of $529 for installation and $359 per month plus printing coverage.
I will second that. Ms. Swain.
Yes, I really want to thank you for your cooperation during June to go ahead and authorize Angie Purdy to sign this contract while you were not looking at new things. It allowed us to take advantage of a unique situation where we got a gently used large format printer at last year's prices, and that was locked in for 5 years at that previous year's price. So it really is a big help to our office when we're scanning plats and surveys and other large format documents. The current one that we have now resides in the surveyor's office. So they will continue the service contract on that piece, and it provides service over there. But it's an internal thing where they don't have customers waiting at the counter for us to take care of them. Mm-hmm. And so I think this is a win-win for both offices.
Yeah, it's a good plan. Thank you so much. Comments or questions, Commissioner Madeira?
Only that we save taxpayers' money, which is always a great thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I always try to do that when I can.
Yes.
All right. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. You raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. All right. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the Eastern Financing Rental Agreement for a large format scanner printer signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
All right. Next, we have the presentation of County Form number 144. Woodruff, good morning.
Morning. I'm here to present the county's 144s for 2027. This is a form that outlines the anticipated expenditures for payroll in 2027. The forms are rather large, so they're included in the packet on the agenda as a link. And again, these are just used to predict what the 2027 salary expenditures are going to be for out of county funds. And I believe from there, the commissioners can then propose a suggestion to the council for what the 2027 wages should be.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Thank you so much. And we have to do that by August 20th. Comments or questions?
Nope. Everything looks to be in order. Thank you.
Yeah. I appreciate that it was done as a link this time instead of a packet of paper. Thank you for that. Yep, this is an annual review that we do prior to council budgets being set. So thank you so much. All right. Any public comment on this item? You raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. Seeing none, I guess we accept the presentation of the Form 144s. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Next item, please.
I would like to move approval for the 2026 covered bridge certification. Yes.
I will second that. And you're here to present that as well. Thank you.
Yes, so each year we are required by code to certify the amount of covered bridges in the county. That amount still remains at 1. So we're here today to request the commissioner's certification.
Yeah, one cool one.
Yes.
One. It's funny that we have to do this. All right, thank you. Nothing controversial here.
Great.
Any public comment on this item? You raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. Seeing none, all those in favor of certifying our 2026 covered bridge signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Thank you, ma'am. All right. Next item, please.
Yes, I would like to move approval for change order number 2 with Strausser Construction, Fund Name County General, Park Non-Reverting Capital, and Park Non-Reverting Operating, Fund number 1178-1179, in amount not to exceed $19,374.
I will second that. Ms. Purdy is going to be presenting for Parks today.
Yes, and thankfully Ms. Whitmer has provided a very concise and easily understood explanation for this request. These have sufficient funds to cover this change order, and this change order is the result of the Flatwoods Park restroom having an issue with the underground holding tanks that were leaking, and so this is going to remove those and replace them and ensure that everything is appropriately tested and cleared before opening the actual restroom.
Great, thank you so much. Let's ask Ms. Purdy a tough question. You got one for her? Any comments, questions?
I'll skip all the puns that go with this.
Yeah.
I'll keep a lid on them. So yes, this is essential, obviously, for many obvious reasons. And this is a so the restroom was never opened at all. Is that correct?
Correct. It
Okay.
has not been opened.
Yes.
I get it.
Yep. Good. I have no further questions.
All right. Yeah, let's skip the bad puns, the potty jokes.
100%. Yes.
All right. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. You raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving change order number 2 with Strausser Construction signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. And next item, please.
Yes, I would like to move approval for the Bledsoe Riggett Cooper James Service Agreement Second Addendum.
I will second that. Ms. Purdy.
Okay, and this is an addendum to extend the contract, so it now extends from June 30th of 2026 to 12/31/26. And this is for services of the survey of the Monroe County Nature Preserve.
Yep, excellent. Thank you. Comments or questions?
Nope. Again, I look forward to moving this project along, and this is an important part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Thank you so much. Any public comment on this item? You raise your hand in Teams or come to the podium. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the second addendum to the Bledsoe Riggett Cooper James Service Agreement for the Monroe County Nature Preserve signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Next item, please.
I would like to move approval for Ordinance 2026-22 to amend Chapter 258-1 of the Monroe County Code.
I will second that. Ms. Purdy?
Yep, this is a housekeeping issue because the Parks Department has moved from their original spot, which is now, I believe, voter registration, to another spot in Showers, and so this is just updating that address within our code.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, not lost on this one. Yeah. Got anything?
No, I just don't want lost and found to be lost and
Yeah,
found.
yeah, we gotta find
Right.
the lost and found. All right, thank you so much. Any public comment on this item? You raise your hand in Teams or come to the podium. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving ordinance 2026-22 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Thank you so much, Ms.
Thank
Purdy.
you, and Ms. Whitmer says thank you. She's having problems with her computer. She can hear, but she can't talk, and
Oh, we're all good. All good. Thank you. We'll send her tough questions later.
there you go.
All right, item K, please.
Yes. I'd like to move approval for the Memorandum of Understanding between Monroe County Circuit Court and Centerstone. Fund name JDAI Programming, Fund number 9123 in the amount of $1,500.
I will second that, and we have Ms. McAfee joining us. And if you could give an overview first, because we have so many of these contracts, and then we can just go through the individual contracts then.
That would be spectacular.
Thank
and
you. We'll make you do it every time.
I
Yeah.
was talking the other day to someone, you're at the commissioners meeting? I said, I am the commissioners meeting when I looked at the agenda. So, thank you. Yeah. JDAI, Juvenile Detention Alternatives Initiative. It's been in Monroe County since 2014, and we receive grant funds from the State Department of Correction, and they filter down to the counties that are part of this initiative. For the 26-27 fiscal year, we were awarded $80,000. The exciting thing about this award, I think in the past, they've put our money in buckets for us. So we had money that was kind of for coordination. It was office supplies and meals and travel training. And they gave us an amount that if we didn't use all of it, we couldn't move it. This year, they gave us a pot.
Nice.
And they said, you can't go over this. But the good news is we were able to put just over 60,000 of this into programming for our community. And that will be the majority of the MOUs that we're going to talk about today. The other MOUs are for data. So we do a lot of data-driven decisions. We do a lot of data visualization, a lot of data collection. I'm good at a few things, and I'm not really good at a lot of things. And data, I'm getting better, but I need a lot of help. So we've partnered with a couple entities to help us with that. We're also working with Indiana University. We do a survey for youth and families who leave our probation department. It's after court, after appointments, after intake, just to get some feedback on how did this appointment feel? Did you feel respected? Did someone listen to you? Was our location easy to find? How awful was parking on the day that you arrived? Just some of those kinds of things so that we can continue to inform the county as well as our leaders in the department about things that are going really well and maybe things we might consider looking at.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yes. Oh, Centerstone, sorry, yes.
We'll go with Centerstone first.
For the last few years, we have partnered with Centerstone for a specific program called Teen Intervene, and it is an evidence-based intervention for low to moderate youth experiencing substance use. The reason this funding is so important is historically, if we wanted to send a young person to Centerstone for services, they had to go, they had to do an intake, they had to open a chart. It was a 2 or 3 step process. And regrettably, sometimes families got lost in that stretch. And so what we're able to do is make a direct referral to Centerstone, and then Centerstone bills us directly, so we don't have to worry about, is there insurance, is there not insurance, how much is the copay, those kinds of things. So it's a maximum 6-week intervention. It is typically done on a weekly basis. It can be done individually or in a group setting.
Great, thank you so much. Comments or questions on the Centerstone side of things?
I'm a big fan of this, and this is an area that I've done research in, and this is an excellent way to reduce so many of the barriers of youth starting this type of program. Is there a way that individuals can transition to other care after these sessions are over?
Yes, so Centerstone will also do an intake with that family, not as formalized as it would be if we didn't make the direct referral, but we have had instances where the young person's need was determined to be higher than this. This wasn't really a good fit, and so they were able to shift them into something a little bit more intensive. They've been able to shift families into their wraparound services because, yes, this young person was having this behavior, but looking at the totality of it, you know, if we don't address the whole package, we're probably not going to have much success in this one area. So yes, absolutely. Given Centerstone's diversity of services that they offer, they're really good at kind of keeping an eye out for what else is missing.
Awesome. Yes, and I can't think of a better provider. So
thank you
so
really
much.
Good work.
One additional thing, and this will again be kind of an overview of all of these. Monroe County has spent the last 5 or 6 years focusing on how do we keep kids out of the system, so not just serving kids in the system, and we still do that, and we do that very well. But there are a lot of resources that are available through Department of Child Services to pay for system-involved families. The services, a lot of the things we're going to be talking about today are intended for either non-system as a prevention intervention, or like a soft touch. You came into the system, we don't really want to keep you, so here's a resource that you can access. Again, reducing those barriers and trying to keep kids and families out of the system. Because like so many other systems, once we get a hold of people, sometimes it can be hard to get out.
Yeah. And I've had friends who felt obligated to get their kids into the system in order to get access to certain services. And a family should never feel that type of pressure, right?
Regrettably, that has not been fixed, yes, but I think that is really starting to be verbalized very loudly. And again, with so much research talking about the dangers of being in the system, we're really trying to explore why can't that funding be available? Why can't that door be open? What is the magic that my office can make a phone call and access, but your office can't? So we're getting there. Thank you.
Yeah, and so much of this targets prevention, interventions, and you know the evidence shows it works.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So really grateful for all the hard work that's gone into this.
Thank you.
All these programs, your staff, you of course. Thank you so much. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. You raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. All right, seeing none, all those in favor of approving the MOU between Monroe County Circuit Court and Centerstone signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Next item, please.
I would like to move approval for the Memorandum of Understanding between the Monroe County Circuit Court and Impact Solutions, fund name JDAI Data Analysis, fund number 9175, in the amount of $3,150.
I will second that. Ms. McAfee?
Yeah, this is part of that data package where most of our reports come out in Excel format, which is really boring and not super engaging. And so what we do with Impact is they use a software Tableau, and they insert our data, they work their magic, and it comes back looking really impressive, and we can have really good conversations about what's happening now, what's happening trending wise. You know, 2 years ago, we noticed an increase in female referrals. And so we're able to do some real life analysis with the data that they provide to us. And again, it's interesting.
Yeah, that's part of the evidence of evidence-based, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have anything, questions, comments?
Nope. In a world where people are wanting to make so many decisions without that evidence base, evidence is incredibly important.
Yeah.
And we have so many resources in our own backyard here, and we have so many wonderful tools with which to do this with. So it doesn't seem logical to do it any other way. And it's our best use of dollars because we can target exactly those interventions that are most called for.
Yeah.
So
And we're getting to track program outcomes and recidivism and all of those things. Whoops. Talk about so often. And for years, all we could say was my gut.
yes.
Well, I think it's working. I don't know if it is. So yeah, this has been
Anecdotal,
wonderful.
Yeah.
Right. And increasingly grants should demand that type of proof, so we need to prove that there is efficacy, right? And put our dollars where those outcomes are. So
Yes. Thank you.
And I would say the other thing I noticed about the contract is it's scaffolding previous data
Yes.
collection. It's
yes.
bringing in
Yes.
older historical information and really helping
Yes.
make a more informed decision. So good
Exactly.
work on that. All right, any public comment on this? You can raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. All right, seeing none, all those in favor of approving the MOU between Monroe County Circuit Court and Impact Solutions signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Next item, please.
Yes, I'd like to move approval for the Memorandum of Understanding between the Monroe County Circuit Court and Family Solutions, Fund Name JDAI Programming, Fund Number 9123, in the amount of $5,500.
I will second that. Ms. McAfee.
Parenting Project. We've been here a couple of times to talk about this. Specifically, again, another one of those wonderful intervention programs. This is designed specifically for parents and caregivers of strong-willed children. If any of you have had one, you know exactly who I'm talking about. They are bold, they are brilliant, and they are really challenging, and sometimes they're hard. So this program has direct parent recommendations and tools to be able to address some of those challenges. It is done, this bundle of money will be for an in-person class. One of the items is also for some virtual programming, but this is for specifically the in-person class. You do not have to be a system-involved family. We ask that for the in-program that you can be a Monroe County resident, the virtual, we can broaden that certainly. So if we have anybody that's watching that wants to learn more about this, I would love to share information. Christine McAfee at the probation department. So
Give us a phone number.
yeah,
just in
absolutely.
case.
812-349-2649.
Right, thank you so much. Comments, questions?
No, again, I think this is one of those pre-involvement programs that's so critical and gives skills to people who may be at their wit's end. So thank you.
Yeah, turning the stubborn child into a tenacious child. I was one of them. All right, let's see if there's any public comment on this item. You raise your hand in Teams or come to the podium. And all those in favor of approving the MOU between Monroe County Circuit Court and Family Solutions signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Next item, please.
Yes, I'd like to move approval for the Memorandum of Understanding between the Monroe County Circuit Court and Just Insight LLC, Fund Name JDAI Data Analysis, Fund Number 9175, in the amount of $4,300.
I will second that. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, it's another data request. I think you all are familiar. If you remember, we are moving from Quest into SRS, which is an entirely different beast. These dollars are specifically to help us start exploring what can we get out of SRS and how can we use that. So we're going to continue with the Tableau. We're going to continue with the other things. Those things are going to merge, but we're suspecting there might be some ad hoc reports that we didn't previously have that we might want to add to our menu. So that's what this funding is for.
Oh, good idea. Comments, questions?
No. This is, again, wonderful tool.
Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. You raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the MOU between Monroe County Circuit Court and Just Insight LLC signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 2-0. We only have 3 more items for this. Yes.
Great. So I'd like to move approval for the memorandum of understanding between the Monroe County Circuit Court and People and Animal Learning Services, or PALS, fund name JDAI Programming, fund number 9123, in the amount of $6,400.
I will second that. Tell us about this lovely
Yeah, I
program.
love
It's
this
really
program.
cool.
It
Yeah.
started just a few years ago, and what this pays for are 8 1.5-hour sessions, an adult caretaker and a young person. And in the midst of having fun and working with those beautiful horses, Angie is smiling because she probably knows this, but apparently horses are pretty intuitive. And they really help you kind of identify the energy that you're bringing into the space. And sometimes our adults and young people have a lot of difficulty with self-regulation. And this animal interaction helps them identify, what am I adding to maybe the part of this story. And the horses are wonderful, and some of them are huge and some of them are little, but we have had a wonderful, wonderful time with this program. We have increased the length of the sessions. We were doing 1-hour sessions. They decided that really wasn't enough because by the time they got introduced, it was time to leave. So there are fewer sessions, but they're a little bit longer. For this grant, we're also adding an end of session celebration. So that will be open to friends and family, to the community, to come and see what work these young people and families have been doing. During these 8 weeks, we'll provide some horse time, and then there'll be refreshments and things like that. So again, if you're interested in learning more about PALS, more about this horse interaction, contact me. I would love to share the information with you.
Excellent. Comments or questions?
Yep, we're not horsing around with this
No.
major.
Horsing around. It's Fun
begged,
Thursday.
Yeah, that begged the comment. PALS offers so much to the community, and this is just one of several programs, but a critical one. And so I can't say enough about measures like this. This is just, again, inestimable. Yeah.
Let us know when the celebration is. We'll
Yes.
duck in if we can
I'd
and
love to.
see
Yes.
what's going on. So
Yes,
it'd be fun.
absolutely.
It'd be really fun.
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. Mr. Ed might be on the phone. All right. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the MOU between Monroe County Circuit Court and People and Animal Learning Services signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Next item, please.
Yes, I'd like to move approval for the Memorandum of Understanding between the Monroe County Circuit Court and Parenting Solutions, fund name JDAI Programming, fund number 9123, in the amount of $9,000.
I will second that. Tell us about this one, please.
So Rob Evans is a former probation officer from Hamilton County. He started his business, Parenting Solutions, because he really feels that homes and families are where the magic happens, and too often entities kind of swoop in and we want to work with this person or that person individually. And he believes that the family really is a unit, and working together is where that magic is going to happen. So what he is offering to Monroe County are those parenting solution or the parent project classes that I spoke about earlier. They are virtual. So he will offer those multiple times during the year. The parent project is for kids 11 to 17. There's a Loving Solutions that's actually available for 5 to 10-year-olds. So again, those strong-willed kids don't wake up at the age of 12 and suddenly have this energy. Sometimes we can see it coming. So this is something to help parents support those young people as they develop. They also have a variety of 1-hour either webinars or virtual. He's doing one on school success, so kids that are school resistant. How can parents kind of get ahead of that before the truancy court's coming, before the truancy officer, before the truancy letters? He's got a really nice webinar on technology and safety and how parents can be as responsible and knowledgeable about technology our young people are using. If you've ever looked at any young person's phone, they could probably launch a missile with it. They can do so many things with it. I just want to call people. So he does a really nice job of supporting parents and learning more about those things as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Comments or questions?
No, it sounds like it's the type of information that, instead of searching a bazillion YouTube videos with conflicting information, this could be, very helpful and perhaps directly speak to our families.
That is the hope, and I will tell you also, I didn't say it, but this is also at no cost.
Yeah.
PALS is at no cost. The Family Solutions is at no cost. So all of these things are available to the community.
That's wonderful.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
All right, thank you so much. Any public comment on this item? You raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. All right, seeing none, all those in favor of approving the MOU between Monroe County Circuit Court and Parenting Solutions signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Last one for you, anyway.
I would like to move approval for the memorandum of understanding between the Monroe County Circuit Court and the Warehouse. Fund name JDAI Programming, Fund number 9123, in the amount of $13,500.
I will second that. Tell us about this, please.
Yeah, again, this is a long-term relationship that we have had with the Warehouse. It morphed out of a conversation with Dave Weil, who is the executive director. Insurance requires kids 12 and younger have to be present with an adult to engage in activities. So he was having to turn kids away. So what we have done is develop a partnership with a couple of their staff whom we pay their hourly wage. They pick them up at the Dorothy Apartments and at Country View on specific days and specific times. They bring the kids back to the Warehouse. They engage in activities. They have a short life lesson kind of curriculum. There's obviously going to be food involved. And then they take the kids back. And the goal is really that we're kind of selling it under structured activities, but it's really about relationships and mentorships. You know, if you look at the research about keeping kids out of the system, the number one predictor is a committed, caring, consistent adult. And we're trying to help our community provide that to these kids in this program.
So important. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Questions?
No, the Warehouse is one of those wonderful community spaces that's very unique. I think every community should have one of those, and it provides an ideal site for this type of programming. And I'm really glad that we can provide what the resources we need to most effectively use that space. Yeah. And I'm grateful to the owners of the Warehouse for making that space available in this capacity.
Yeah. And they made the space available for the program that you did this spring.
Yes,
that was,
they did.
I learned. I was only there a short time, but I learned so much. So thank you again for extending that.
We'll keep you on the invitation list. Show up when you can. We love it.
I learned a lot in a very compressed amount of time, so it's impressive. All right, let's see if there's any public comment on this item. You can raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the MOU between Monroe County Circuit Court and the Warehouse signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion 2-0. Thank you so much for being here and for all the information you gave to everyone.
And thank you to the county, to you all, to the probation, the judicial branch, or the judicial officers. The community really steps up. I can't tell you, we would not be able to do this if all of these partners didn't say yes when we reached out. So thank you to all of you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Do you need a break or should we just go? Okay. Next item, please.
Yes, I would like to move approval for Ordinance 2026-24, adding Chapter 385 to the Monroe County Code.
I will second that. Mr. Cockrell.
Yes, and TSD, at some point in time, I may ask to be able to share my screen. So just kind of giving you a heads up. First, I'd like to say this is an expansion of what can be used on county roads. This is in no way, if you are allowed to drive this vehicle on a county road today, this does not change that. I've gotten quite a few questions about that. So what we have here is a code provision that allows certain new types of vehicles on the roadway. There's a really long definition in the ordinance. Please look at that. If you have a vehicle that meets that is great. But I'm going to go through some of the highlights of what we expect these vehicles to be able to do. One, they have to have at least 4 wheels. 2, they have to be able to operate at least 35 miles per hour. They have to be insured. The driver has to have a driver's license. They have to have seatbelts for everyone that is riding in the vehicle. They has to have a roll cage, has to have at least 1 brake light, has to have turn signals, have to have headlights, and it has to have a traditional steering wheel, and it's got to have rear view mirrors, side view mirrors. So that encompasses a lot, and I think the speed is necessary to make sure that they can travel safely on the roads without impeding traffic too much. And then the roll cage and all those other things are safety equipments to make sure they can be operated safely. So those are the types of vehicles that we are looking at. What's not included in that definition are your traditional ATV four-wheelers, three-wheelers, golf carts. Those are not. So and actually what I'm asking you to look at is slightly changed from what was submitted before. It excludes golf carts. Outside the definitions, it always included it that you weren't allowed to, but it just clarifies it, and it reworks the roadways where you're not allowed to. So if TSD would allow, I would like to share my screen to go over the roadways. So I had our friends at the surveyor's office, Dr. Baton, put this together. I don't know if you could see it very well. We expect this to be placed on our website in our GIS. But the red roads indicated on this are the roads where and the areas of the roads where it's prohibited. And it's prohibited on roads where we have higher traffic count. So if it's a really busy road, and those roads are part of Arlington Drive, part of Business 37 North, all of Curry Pike, all of Fairfax Road, a portion of Fullerton Pike, I think a portion of Gordon Pike, is that? All of Hunter Valley Road, Industrial Park Drive, portions of Old 37 South, I think all of Profile Parkway, Rogers Road, Roger Street, and Royal Road. Those are the names of the road that are at least partially, if not totally, prohibited from using these types of vehicles. So, and I think as you can see from the map, it's really the heavy roads around the city of Bloomington and between the city of Bloomington and Ellisville that's really used for people to get to and from work, and really highly congested. This also does not include any state highway. In addition, we're only talking about use of these vehicles on a public roadway or a public place. If you could not drive an automobile on it right now, these vehicles still aren't allowed. So you can't ride it through our parks. You can't ride it through the
trails,
walking trails, those kind of things. So there's a lot of no's in there, which is why I started off with this is really expanding quite a bit where you're able to utilize these vehicles. And then finally, the penalties have changed since what was put on the website. We're not doing an ordinance violation for these. It's state law covers what the penalties are for these, and state law will continue to cover the penalties for these. I think internally we kind of had a conversation about it. Like, we don't want any incentive for local government to collect fines and fees based upon regulation of state code, right? So if it's a penalty, it's a state code penalty. Really, this allows a whole new set of vehicles, and I guess maybe a little bit of the history is, we've had these conversations off and on for a long time. I think what really got it traction this time is that when we had the gigantic snowstorm last year, individuals were wanting to use these vehicles to help out their neighbors to plow their drives and do things like that, and they were running into resistance from law enforcement who were like, you're not allowed to use these here. And that really jump-started that conversation. So that's kind of how it got to where it is today.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, and I will add that all of this came from folks who attended office hours. This is where it started. And this is why it's important for us to have them and continue them. Sometimes nobody shows up. I was on 3 hours the other day and nobody showed up. But it's important to have that conduit with our community. And, and I talked through, I initially threw up a lot of objections, but they answered a lot of the questions that I had. They were very knowledgeable. I really appreciated that they took the time to do that. They sent us similar ordinances from local counties, which saved us some time. I also want to give a huge shout out to Ms. Ridge and her department for helping out with creating this list. I mean, the roads that are selected in red, and again, a reminder, this does not include State Road 45. This does not include State Road 46, right? Any state road or obviously I-69 is prohibited for utility vehicles. These are, so it's interesting. So my nephew has one of these up in Michigan, and he's driven me a few times. My knuckles just turned back to their usual color, but he's a good driver. But I really have a better understanding of them thanks to my nephew inadvertently. But that these, I mean, his goes 55. So he, you know, it is a safe way to get around. You know, yes, you still, if you're on a four-wheeler that's intended for off-road use only, you should not be on county roads. If you are in a golf cart, you should not be on county roads. That's not changing, right? But these utility vehicles are really safe, and it's, I think it's important to kind of continue to add on to what folks can do in our community, ways that will help them get around easier, especially in inclement weather. But it's fairly good gas mileage too. But I'm really grateful to Mr. Cockrell for working through this. I had a number of questions that he even addressed this week, so thank you for that. And also Dr. Baton with GIS Services, the map, I saw the email that said, hey, can you make a map? And then I saw the email that said, here's the map. That was great. So really do appreciate all of that. And want to thank everybody in the community for helping out, and within county government for making this happen pretty quickly. My understanding, though, is that pretty much all along, only conservation officers have been the ones who have been focused on ticketing and addressing this. So I just want to make sure that we do send this out and get a copy of this with some information to not only our sheriff's department. I think the city of Bloomington and town of Ellisville should have this information because they may want to look at their ordinances, because this does not cover either of those, right? It's only the unincorporated parts of the county. But also to send it to our friends at the Conservation Office and Indiana State Police so that they know what our new law is. And I'm really grateful to have a map, because reading a list of streets makes your eyes run. So anyway, a lot of info, but again, thank you to the community. And do you have any comments or questions for Mr. Cockrell?
Yes, I just want to second a lot of what you said. And, you know, in torts I teach how one case where, you know, you had the Model Ts and they courts started to impose a duty on counties to build wooden guardrails, you know, and they said now that we have these technologies, communities have to basically regulate accordingly. And then we had to go to metal guardrails, you know, once cars got faster. But as technology gets safer, communities have to sort of ease up on some regulations as well. And consumers do pay a premium for these safety features as well. These are not the four-wheelers, you know, that just come with handlebars and that pose a rollover risk. These are very expensive pieces of equipment. They have a lot of safety features. They're very expensive. And, you know, this is a pretty restrictive ordinance as well. But they can engage in these activities in adjacent counties. And there are many, as you said, good examples of ordinances that people have presented. And so I think this is a very reasonable, very good, moderate step forward. And so I think it's also a very great example of, you know, county departments working together to allow this activity. So I think this is everything that you said. And thank you to those who came forward and broached this.
Yeah, it's really good. I do want to note that we'd also had conversations with the sheriff's department about this beforehand, because obviously we want to make sure that they're okay with what we're doing. And they were so grateful for that input as well. So thank you to them. So
Sheriff and Highway were the first contacts once we thought this was maybe on the horizon.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
So, so folks, look out for UTVs. And I just want to also state that if the sheriff's department or highway sees any issues or concerns and we need to change this map, just let us know and we can easily make those accommodations if something comes up that's a safety issue.
Well, I'm thinking about going to buy myself one now. But I hope they all get snowplows.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yes,
Yeah,
they
really
are
need
fun.
Snow. Yeah.
If citizens have questions about these individual roads, and I know it's very clear once you look, where exactly they're allowed and permitted. But if they have questions about why, who should they contact? Should they contact county legal? Should they contact highway?
I think you could reach out to either Jeff or myself. It's something that a list that we put together, just trying to get the ordinance to you guys to get passed. I know I have had a lot of questions. When's it going to take effect, and a lot of support for it. It's not anything that a list can't be modified if there's reason that we see maybe there needs to be a change or a road eliminated or maybe an additional road added. Again, we just briefly went through roads that were classified at a higher level than a local road to reach our list. And like you said, it's just the congested areas. Maybe as the public gets more comfortable with these vehicles on the roadway, we can modify the list. But if they have any questions, I'm sure they could reach to Jeff or the highway department.
That's awesome. Thank you. And I know one of our options was, and I appreciate the way that we've done this without adding more fees or fines or things, because we already know golf carts are not allowed on public roads, et cetera. I was also told that some counties will sell a permit so that you can actually, and I was just like, I don't want to go down that road. First of all, it's just, it's not worthwhile. And I certainly, if somebody is using a UTV, it may be because they don't have a car. And if they don't, then why would I add another? Right. Why would we do that?
This should not be an excuse to build taxpayers out of more money.
It's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't cost us anything to do this.
Exactly. Right.
Time, but thank you. All right.
Yes.
Don't go down that road. All right. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. You can raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. Oh, looky there.
Now, fees for public comment now.
Yeah.
That's free too.
Okay. Today, Monroe County government makes me proud. Thank you for all those comments, and I've kind of been a little bit behind a lot
Can you
of this.
give us your name, please?
RMAN. 91 counties in the state of Indiana. Today, if you guys vote yes, 88 of those 92 counties will have ordinances. It was the right move. These things are safe. They do. I worked with the sheriff's department. To answer the question, you're right. No police officers ever pulled any of us over. No city, no county, no state. It's just one department. And Monroe County is beautiful, and it gives us a chance to get out and explore Monroe County in a different way. So I appreciate all your help, and you guys may be proud today. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And thank you again for joining us during office hours.
That was great.
That was awesome.
And if it wasn't for that, I don't know where I'd been in this process. So thank you for that service.
Learned so much from you. Thank you.
Yes,
Thanks
you
for your
so
help.
much.
Yeah, great. All right. Any other public comment? You can raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. And just to clarify, this will take effect immediately upon passage.
Yes, we need to get it out to the so have a little patience with them.
Yeah, but it does become effective immediately.
Correct.
It's just that we're going to get this information out over a holiday weekend and hope that that they have it. So if somebody out there wants to drive a utility vehicle, I recommend you kind of fold up a copy of this and put it in your pocket, including the map. Yeah, and then we can get you a copy. We can get you a copy.
Put one on the website?
It's on the website. It'll be on the website.
Once it gets signed, we'll put it in the updated news area of our website, so you can just pull it and print it off.
Great. Yep.
Probably need it signed before it'll be
Yeah, we need it signed first. Yeah. Okay. So, seeing no other public comment, all those in favor of approving ordinance 2026-24 signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Thank you so much. All right, next item, please.
Yes, I would like to move approval for the assignment and assumption agreement for the Convention Center management and the modification of various management duties.
I will second that. Mr. Cockrell.
Yes, this is an agreement, and it's kind of based off of our transfer of the property south of the Convention Center to the Capital Improvement Board. Those properties, as well as the Convention Center, all went into, and maybe this is how I connect the dots, it all went into a fund to pay for the management contract. So the revenues from those rental agreements, as well as the revenues from the Convention Center itself, went into the management contract. Our plan all along was to make sure that when the Capital Improvement Board got on its feet and was ready to take over the management of the Convention Center, that they would get the contract for the management addressed to them, assigned to them. It's in the agreement that we can assign it to the Capital Improvement Board. This is just a document that does that assignment. It also includes turning over the funds that we have collected through the rentals and all that to them. I think it's $190,000 that we have an appropriation for, because all that money was going to go back to the management company as well. I guess just as a bring everything around together. Part of that, when we transfer the property, we also have an agreement that is included in the transfer approval for you to sign off on transferring some of the damage deposits. So we'll do that as well. But that's kind of just bringing this all the authority that the county has for the area is going, and under that contract is going from the county to the Capital Improvement Board. That's the gist and the kind of the long story behind the long document.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Do you have any questions?
No, that was incredibly clear, and I think, no questions.
We knew this day was coming, and it's bittersweet for me because it's been fabulous working with the management group and Ms. Kopic. And I don't know if you wanted to say anything today. Please. Song.
Hi, Talisha Kopic, Convention Center Management Company. And the same for me is we've loved working with commissioners, the council, your leadership, your support, but also the depth that the county has with the various departments. And, from the office folks with Angie and Jeff with legal, but, the IT and maintenance and auditor's office and treasurer's office, and even getting to know the health department more during COVID when we did the vaccine clinic, and IT department. So there's maintenance, there's just a lot of depth there. And we found that, everybody is helpful and friendly and professional and have provided a lot of advice over the years, which has allowed us to continue to work with you and do it correctly. Yeah. And then, we've started, working with the Capital Improvement Board, and that transition is going well. We continue to work very closely with Visit Bloomington, already starting to do tours of the site that should be open in January, getting a lot of enthusiasm so it's really interesting that they really are, if you build it, they will come, is starting. So it's pretty exciting. And so anyway, we just wanted to say excited for those next steps, and thank you all, and love Fullerton Pike, and it's great. And the 4th of July parade is Saturday, so downtown Bloomington continues to co-sponsor that with the Parks and Rec. But I think you can be very proud of the county's investment over all these years. There have been 14,000 events, over 1 million people through local community events, as well as out-of-town visitors, and generating that economic impact. So I just see more of the same coming along and being able to go to that next step. So, awesome. So onward, upward. Thank
Yeah,
you.
we will miss seeing you here at least annually to do the
Yeah.
contracts and to discuss things. But yeah, it's been wonderful working with you. And don't be a stranger. And
Yes.
be sure to let us know if there's anything you need. I mean, I was so getting through COVID. You all were amazing. It helped so much. You've helped in elections in the past. And really this whole project, and the ARPA renovations, I'm so
Yes,
glad
yeah, I
those got
mentioned-
done.
Yeah, right. Me too. I think it's really helped be able to keep the doors open actually during this whole part of it, because all those things were really overdue. So they've really been, and we haven't had any issues with all of them, and we haven't had the bills that come with, having to repair something last minute.
Yeah.
So
That's really good. And,
Yeah.
and you've been wonderful to work with, you and your staff, and cannot thank you enough for all you've done to welcome people, but also to encourage them to visit Bloomington and Monroe County.
Yes. Yeah. And we've got a great team. Our staff, loves the business,
Yeah.
and it's a fun business, and it's really interesting to see all the different interests people have.
Yeah,
So.
for sure. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, so my late night reading for the past, approximately 2 years has been the history of what has gone on in much of the county. And so there have been certain heroes in those sagas, and you've been one of them. And so,
for sure.
I think that I marvel at all you've done and how you've done it, not only in the convention center space, but also in Visit Bloomington. And to invoke, Commissioner Thomas's Field of Dreams analogy, I would say Field of Beams. But it's just been marvelous, how quickly it's risen, and all of the things you've managed to do while that project has been ongoing. And I think everything just has operated smoothly over there. You wouldn't even know that there's this major construction project across the street, So,
Wow.
and all of the things you've helped us negotiate, all of the many difficult situations you've helped us negotiate this year alone. So, even from the moment I've been here forward, thank you very much for all of that. And
thank you.
Just a spectacular professional as well as spectacular human being.
Thank you.
But I think, those personal remarks are warranted even in this professional context.
Yeah,
So.
we've come a long way since the train used to go by 5 times a day and rattle the whole building, and that west parking lot was a field.
Oh, yeah.
And so there have been a lot of things up and down over the years. Yeah.
A lot of changes, and it takes
a lot of changes in downtown.
Yeah, and it takes a special person and a special organization to weather those changes and to keep making it better and more interesting and more alluring for folks. So
absolutely,
yeah, really, you've just done amazing.
It's such
work.
a bright future too. So set up to succeed. So thank you so much.
Okay, great.
Thank you for everything. Yeah.
Thanks.
Let's see if there's any public comments on this item. Raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. All right, seeing none, all those in favor of the assignment and assumption agreement for Convention Center management and modification of various management duties signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Next item, please.
I would like to move approval for the letter of representation for Clark, Johnson, and Knight Ltd.
I will second that. Mr. Cockrell.
Yes, this is a letter of representation that would give the commissioners their own legal counsel for the anticipated ACLU jail constitutionality case. I think from the legal this firm. Members of this firm were part of the firm that originally represented the county when the Richardson case was filed in 2008-2009. Pam Schneeman is the person who will be the primary, and she was part of that litigation as well. Angie Purdy and I had been discussing with our insurance carrier and our insurance agent whether the insurance carrier would cover the cost of this defense. They don't want to, and I don't blame them, make any kind of decision until they actually see what claim has been filed. But they indicated that if they would that this firm would be who they would recommend us using, so we would have some continuing. And I guess the other part that's probably not on the cover sheet is that the rate is $225 an hour for the principal, and $195 for and below for others in the firm. So I guess cap it off. I know that the sheriff's has gotten their counsel. This would be the commissioners getting their counsel, and I guess from our office's perspective, we don't believe that we could represent any of the parties because there is a conflict between the three. I don't think we could represent you and have the council feel that we are adequately representing them, and vice versa. And the sheriff could be vice versa between all three of you as well, right? I mean, there's ways this case could go that could cause all kinds of conflicts between all the parties. So we ethically are not able to do that.
What fund is going to be used to pay this?
I believe what we're going to be using is County General Professional Services.
Okay.
And at the last council meeting, when the sheriff requested an additional, he was initially advised to use funds that he currently had. We're going to do that. I'll send an email to the council letting them know that we're not coming for an additional at this point in time. However, this is displacing our ability to pay those professional services we had planned on paying for 2026. So we will more than have to come back for an additional, but we will do that later.
I want to say two things, and neither's controversial, but this is an example of a cost for not completing what should have been done by Mr. Falk's deadline on time. And it's unfortunate because taxpayers are paying the price. The other thing I will say is that right now, even though we should have separate counsel, that we're aligned with the Sheriff's Department on this project and where it should go and what it should entail and how quickly it should have been done. But I do want to say that because I don't want anybody to come away thinking that we've not been in alignment with the Sheriff's Department. I think it's important to note that. Any comments?
I had just a clarification. So it says in the agenda that this is the commissioner's attorney, so this does not cover counsel?
Correct.
Okay. And
go
ahead.
guess when you speak with them, you may ask them if they see the same conflict we do.
Yeah.
And if they don't, then that's a conversation you guys can have with them. If they talk to me, I would indicate that we found that there was a conflict.
And I also think, to your point about representation, with my knowledge, this is a very specialized body of litigation as well that a certain subset of lawyers specialize in.
Yes.
So, okay.
Great. Thank you so much. Any public comment on this item? You raise your hand in Teams or come to the podium. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the letter of representation for Clark Johnson and Knight Ltd. signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 2-0. And thank you for helping vet the best firm possible for this. Appreciate the work.
So, can I ask one more question? So there is a determination that is possible by insurance after the lawsuit gets filed. They will determine whether or not this is covered by insurance.
But that this firm is on their list.
Yes.
So in other words, we're not going out of
exactly.
bounds.
Right. So it's vetted, but a determination is yet to come.
Right. We haven't been sued yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Next item, please.
Yes, I'd like to move approval from Monroe County and City of Bloomington Memorandum of Understanding.
Second. Mr. Cockrell, I guess, or Ms. Ridge, I don't know. Tag team, whatever.
The City of Bloomington is doing a project, and that project includes is going to include work that we requested they do on one of our bridges. And so this agreement is for them to go ahead and oversee the work and that we will pay them an amount associated with, I think it's like 38,000.
It's approximately in the MOU, I believe it's 34,000. EMB is the awarded contractor. We've made a little bit of modifications to it already. It's just for the longevity of the bridge, for removing the sidewalk that's on the bridge, increasing what we call a membrane layer. So the 34,000, it is in the MOU that as long as we approve a change order that we've seen, it pertains to our bridge, then we have the right to approve that. We have let EMB know we do support that additional cost. Again, it's all just for the longevity of the bridge, and the work is just for what is on the bridge that's in this MOU.
And the bridge is our responsibility. And is this being paid for out of Cume Bridge?
Correct.
Right. So, yeah, all of this makes sense. I guess I'm just trying to ensure that I understand what's going to be done. So they're actually going to put the membrane down, repair the sidewalks, but they're also then putting asphalt down on top of the bridge deck? No.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That is correct.
Okay.
The membrane was actually going to stop at the edge of the bridge where the sidewalk was. They were not going to remove the sidewalk. So we had reached out to our bridge inspector. We feel for the longevity of the bridge, the sidewalk does need to be removed so we can extend that membrane.
Got it.
And then the extra cost is putting back that sidewalk. So that's why the cost has increased over the last week or so after we made those modifications and worked it all out. So yeah, and then they'll pave over the.
All right, got it. Okay, I was a little confused when I read it. I'm sure it's something you're like, yeah, of course, but I was. Can we pay you? All right. Any questions?
I'm perfectly fine.
I don't know why my mic's not working. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. You can raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the Monroe County City of Bloomington Memorandum of Understanding signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0, and thank you, Ms. Ridge, for working on this. This is a good example of when collaboration works. We don't always have that. So next we have our road salt bid opening. If you would like to proceed with that, it looks, I can't believe we're talking about road salt.
Great.
You know,
be prepared.
I know. You're so smart to talk about it now.
That makes me feel salty.
Yeah.
Excited out of the sweat. I don't know.
So bids were due this morning by 10 a.m. The first one that I am going to open is from Morton Salt.
This sounds to me that they provide road salt too.
They do.
Yeah.
If you go to Manistee, Michigan, on the shores of Lake Michigan, you can see their salt mines. They're still there.
That's amazing.
They're still there.
That's so fascinating. Yeah.
Good, sodium chloride delivered is $100.65 a ton, and untreated sodium chloride, if we picked it up, would be $97 a ton. The next one that we have is from Cargill. Highway stuff and really knows how to clear out a room, don't they?
Bid opening music.
A drum roll, but I think it would get old after a while.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Cargill is regrets they will be unable to submit a bid for the salt, according to their letter.
Oh no.
And then we have one from Compass.
Your jokes are going south.
Must have been.
That looks like another we're not bidding letter.
Oh no.
Short.
And we received that Compass will not be providing a bid on salt either.
Is there still a shortage? I mean, this was last year.
I don't
was
know if
crazy.
that's what's anticipated or if you just have to call at the time for quotes.
Yeah.
For materials. So,
but you can still do that, right? We can still get quotes if even if we.
I think some of the things we ran into last year when we had the shortage, I believe Compass was one of the companies. When we reached out to them having a hard time getting salt, they were only committed to their awarded clients.
Right.
So they wouldn't consider. So we'll look at this, maybe contact the companies, talk to legal department and see how we want to move
I
forward.
would check and see how that price compares to what we've currently been paying.
Yeah.
It seems like it's in line with what we're paying
Not
now
the
per
same.
ton. So it might be that's who we go with, but we'll just take them under advisement at this point.
Yeah. Take this under advisement. Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious. I mean, I do feel like we should have a contract with somebody. But again,
thankfully our barn is pretty full, so we've been ordering salt and up until the last month or two. So
Good. Smart move.
we're prepared for
smart move.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've got what's been called a super El Nino on its way, and well, it's actually started now.
Right.
And I mean, weather agencies are like, there's a 100% chance we're gonna have a strong El Nino. Okay.
Yeah.
So I
No
think
doubt there.
we may be okay. I mean, weather-wise, but you have to be prepared, and it could be ice versus snow, and that's just a salt, another salt lick. All right, great. Yeah, let us know what you want to do. Think about it, and appreciate you opening bids and being a contestant today. All right, we'll move on to item
salt on our census.
Item W, please.
Yes, I'd like to move approval for the change order number 4 for Sunrise Greetings Vernal Pike Connector Road. Fund name Vernal Pike Sunrise Greetings, fund number 8165 in the amount of $10,165.
I will second that. I thought we were done with this.
We're getting there. This, I believe, is our last change order for this project. At the time when we put the ends on the bridge railings, we just felt like that there needed to be a different type or additional attenuators on the ends, basically for pedestrian traffic. So we wanted to make sure that we had the best finished product. So we wanted to take on this extra cost of putting in that extra protection for the pedestrian traffic at the ends where you're entering the bridge, kind of where you see the guardrail ends. So that's what this change order is for. Again, I believe this is the last change order for this project. So
awesome, good work. Comments, questions?
Nope. Good to know there will be no additional attenuators for the project.
At the ends of the bridge.
Right, exactly. The end of the road.
Yeah, there you go. Any public comment on this item? You raise your hand in the teams, or Mr. Askins can come to the podium. All right, seeing none, all those in favor of change order number 4 for Sunrise Greetings Vernal Pike Connector Road signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Next item, please.
Yes, I'd like to move approval for supplemental number 2 with Clark Dietz Engineering for that road bridge number 79. Fund name Cumulative Bridge, fund number 1135 in the amount of $75,450.
I will second that. Ms. Ridge, tell us all about it.
So when we designed this project, it was all going to be locally funded from design right-of-way through construction. As we've gone forward, the cost of the replacement increased, so we submitted this project to be a federal aid project. It was awarded for construction of fiscal year 2031, so 80% of the construction and construction inspection will be covered as a federal aid project. But to lead up to satisfying all the federal aid requirements, there'll be additional documents required like NEPA, things like that, to show that we have our right-of-way certified. So these are the extra steps. So the cost of $75,000 upfront to the county is better than paying the 100% of, I believe the current estimate is about $1.8 million for the bridge replacement.
Questions?
No, it makes sense. No questions.
What is the time frame on this again?
I believe it's a construction season of 2031.
So far in the future.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's the last, we did not put a project in November of 2025 just because we are so far out.
Yeah.
But we put this into the call in November of 2024. And
Okay.
that's how far out it is for construction. And it takes you 5 years basically to get to construction.
Sure, yeah. That's amazing. Awesome work planning ahead for that. Really, really good. Do you have any?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. You raise your hand in Teams. Raskins is even left. There's nobody to come to the podium. All right. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving supplemental number 2 with Clark Dietz Engineering for that road bridge number 79 signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Next item, please.
Yes, I'd like to move approval for awarding the Highway Garage Parking Lot Paving Project to Lentz Paving LLC, Fund Name 2025 GeoBond Capital Projects, Fund Number 4820, in the amount of $142,651.
Not euros, dollars. I will second that. Ms. Ridge.
So we had 4 sealed bids that we opened on June 4th at the Monroe County Commissioners meeting. Lentz Asphalt was the lowest, most responsive and responsible bidder. The engineer estimate was $173,623.77. So yeah, we're excited for this project. We want to thank the commissioners for putting it into their GEO bond capital projects and the council supporting that. The parking lot was built in 1995. So it's definitely overdue, but we wouldn't have been able to do this project without your support. We've done all the drainage work, replaced some pipes in-house with our crews to get it ready. So we're ready to go once Lentz is ready to go.
Great. Questions, comments?
No, absolutely. This is a project that has, as you said, been long overdue, and I'm so glad we could come in under budget.
I have a question for you that came up for me, and it's not directly related to this, if you don't mind. So the governor put a leave of the gas tax. He's rescinded the gas tax temporarily. It's both the get and the gut, which is the excise tax, but then also the sales tax, the 7%. What is I've been seeing things coming from Association of Indiana Counties about how much this, because that means we're getting no funding. When, we don't know if it's going to be continued or not, but what is going to be the impact of this so that residents understand that? And I think maybe putting something on our website would be useful too, but
okay.
Yeah.
So yes, we have followed this close. Governor did announce, I believe it was on Tuesday of this week, that he has directed the state comptroller to make the local governments whole on this suspension by November 1st. So how much our distribution comes in monthly from the gasoline tax. We won't see that deduction until we probably receive our July, August, September, because it kind of runs in the rear when it calculates out. So I believe it was suspended for 3 months at this point. So we expect to see those reductions in August, September, July, August, September. Again, however, the governor has issued a press release statement this week that he will make the local county entities and cities whole. It will affect, probably moving forward, community crossing matching grant program, paving projects that we've always have submitted to for the last 10 years. We did not anticipate that the governor would come back and make us whole, but we have a cash balance. We did not go in for an additional this year like we usually do in the past for paving, in case we needed to go into those reserve cash funds. we want to maintain what we're doing. We're still moving forward with what we're doing. And I think we're going to be okay because they are going to make us whole by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so even the delay is not necessarily a
The
negative.
delay should
it's-
be fine because
Okay.
again, we get
Yeah,
it
the
in
reserves.
monthly. We have our projects appropriated for. We can cover our lines right now. If we did see that we needed to go in for an additional to the council, we would. We have a great staff that's watching our lines to make sure that we're not depleting a line and don't have something to cover that. But we're watching it closely. There's kind of a mixed number out there, how much we're gonna lose in a month. Mr. Geratas with FSG believes 15 to 20%. I believe our county auditor believes it's gonna be 50%. So for those monthly distributions. So again, the governor has said that we will get those funds back by the end of the year.
Okay.
So.
Okay, I was just curious about that. Thank you for all the information. I think people need to understand that. I was up in Michigan. Gas was $4.40 a gallon.
Oh, yes, Colorado, 479,
Yeah, yeah.
495.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
very expensive.
So we, there's a price to pay for that, and we're gonna pay for it some way or another. And I didn't ask for this war. Did you ask for this war? I didn't ask for this war.
Nope, and
Okay.
Congress has determined that finally.
It doesn't. Yeah. All right. So anyway, thank you for that additional information. I think it's important, and keep us posted if something is going to be shorted. Let us know how you want to manage it, and we'll work with you as always. All right. So back to the highway garage parking lot. The jumble of stones and debris and dirt that it is. I'm glad it's going to get done. Let's see if there's any public comment on this. All right, seeing none, all those in favor of awarding the highway garage parking lot paving project to Lentz Paving signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0.
It's amazing the connection between these national events and the local.
Oh my God,
impact.
it's I mean,
it all filters down.
Yeah, if y'all didn't, if people weren't already worried because they'd gone to the grocery store and things are way more expensive than they used to be for no apparent reason, this is a good example of how it could really impact us.
Absolutely.
Next item, please.
I would like to move approval for the agreement between the Monroe County Board of Commissioners and Aegis BLN USA Incorporated for the right-of-way services. Fund name Dillman Road Bridge number 83, fund number 8170 in the amount of $62,227.
I will second that, Ms. Ridge.
This is basically to start the right-of-way process. This is a federal aid project. When we begin the right-of-way process, it'll be 80% reimbursed from NDOT. So this is just the next phase of replacing Dillman Road Bridge 83.
Right, thank you so much. And when is the project?
The letting for this project is in 2027. I want to say the fall of 2027. So it gives us about a year for right-of-way acquisition.
Okay, all right, thank you so much. Do you have any questions?
Nope. Again, another critical project that has waited quite a while.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good one. So
absolutely.
I appreciate you working on it. It's a huge safety issue. So thank you for
Yes.
working on this so diligently. Let's see if there's any public comment or on Teams. All right, seeing none, all those in favor of approving the agreement between Monroe County Board of Commissioners and Aegis BLN USA Inc. for right-of-way services signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Ms. Ridge, thank you for being patient and sitting with us today for so long, and for all your hard work and your staff. Let's go on to the next item, please.
Yes, I would like to move approval for the 2026 Sophia Travis Community Service Grant Agreements. Fund name County General, fund number 1000 in the amount of $190,000.
I will second that. Ms. Turner King.
Good morning. On June 23rd of this year, the council approved the distribution of $190,000 of appropriations for the Sophia Travis Grants Program. The funds were awarded to 41 agencies, all of which submitted applications or projects for one of the 8 categories for which Sophia Travis grants cover, which include food, nutrition, security, shelter and health, transportation assistance, climate change, emergency shortages, first responders, veterans assistance, excellence in government, and/or youth enrichment. The council is requesting that the Board of Commissioners approve and sign the 2026 agreements. In your packet, there's a template agreement, and then I just prepared an agreement for each of the agencies by filling in their project, their name, and their amount. I'm happy to read the list of awardees if you'd like, but it's also included in the packet.
Yeah, I think it would be really useful if you don't mind doing so. Thank you.
So Amethyst House received $5,300 for residential food. Artist Adjacent received $2,100 for Rovers kickoff shows. Auxiliary to Boys and Girls Club received $2,000 for the Crestmont Special Snack Program. Big Brothers Big Sisters received $4,900 for the Big and Little Adventure Connected Print and App Tools Program. Blooming Arts received $2,800 for a scholarship fund for young actors. Bloomington Cooperative Living received $1,000 for their digital outreach program. Boys and Girls Club of Bloomington received $8,600 for summer field trips. Cancer Support Community received $4,020 for food and transportation assistance for cancer patients. Monroe County CASA received $2,500 for the Project Stop It Now program. Catholic Charities received $3,400 for the Affordable Therapy Program. Center for Sustainable Living received $3,140 for environmental remediation and safety improvements for the community greenhouse. The Chamber of Commerce received $2,200 for their Career Cruise Program. CJAM received $2,340 for expanding volunteer-led eviction mediation services. Community Culture Inc. received $3,420 for their Bob's Garden program. Community Kitchen received $9,240, which is for Food for All Essential Food for Funding. Church to Change Sober Living received $2,660 for Welcome Home Kits and drug test. El Centro Communal Latino received $5,000 for rent and utility assistance for Latino community members. First Christian Church received $5,600 for Welcome Table Breakfast and Sunday Meal Program. First Presbyterian Church received $10,060 for the Bloomington Severe Winter Emergency Shelter. Girls Rock Bloomington received $4,900 for summer camp. Harmony School received $2,200 for the Harmony School Performance Tech Upgrade. Healing Hands received $3,800, which is for Nourishing Neighbors Produce Project. The Hoosier Trails Council received $2,600 for their Growing Scouts in Monroe County program. I will note in the packet, I do believe the next award was listed as going to Monroe County 4-H, but the appropriate agency is Hoosiers Feeding the Hungry. Hoosiers Feeding the Hungry is going to work with Monroe County 4-H, but they're the receiving agency. So Hoosiers Feeding the Hungry received $11,400, and that was for Monroe County 4-H livestock sale for meat processing for local hunger relief. Limestone Media received $980 for climate change, What's the Atmosphere Like Here program. Lotus received $2,250 for the Lotus Blossoms Artist Residency and World Bazaar. Midway House received 2 grants. One was an individual grant and one is for a collaborative project. So for the first one, they received $1,500, and that's for decreasing transportation barriers for survivors of violence. And then the collaborative project received $5,120, and that's to provide CPR trainings. Mother Hubbard's Cupboard received $5,500 for the MHC education program. My Sister's Closet received $2,080 for providing a secure resource for women. New Hope for Families received $7,400 for the New Hope Family Shelter Summer Camp. New Leaf New Life received $5,860 for Stability in Motion Rent Assistance for Sober Living and Transportation. PALS received $5,100 for Stable Futures After School Program. Pantry 279 received $13,000, and that's for nutritional food for food insecure families. Pathways received $2,400 and for their My First Library program. Pathways to Cross-Cultural Understanding received $2,460 for Bridging Borders of Visual Dialogue on Global Youth Perspectives. Reimagining Opera for Kids received $1,300 for their 26-27 season of Reimagining Opera for Kids. Ana y su Sombra, I'm sure I mispronounced that. Sombra Mesa received $6,400. for increasing local grown nutritious food. Stone Belt received 5,240 for CPR and first aid training. Susie's Place received 4,100 for Susie's Place internship opportunities. Tandem received $11,090 for Tandem Essentials, and the Wonder Lab received $3,040 for the Wonder Lab lab room facility tech up improvement. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you for reading all that. That saved us. I mean, we've been here a couple hours, so it was a nice relief for us. Do you have any comments? Questions?
No, I just wanted to say thank you to the committee for their diligence in looking at all the applications. I know this takes so much time. And thank you to the community organizations for putting in these applications and for the tremendous work they do.
Yeah, it's so important. I mean, there's a lot here with food insecurity, but shelter and transitional housing and people in recovery. It's a good wide range of programming. So, yep, certainly do appreciate this getting done. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. You raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. All right, seeing none, all those in favor of approving the 2026 Sophia Travis Community Service Grant Agreement signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And I'm going to go ahead and make a motion for item AB. I'm going to move that we ratify the emergency declaration that was posted for June 18th, 2026 regarding the tornado damage.
I will second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. I don't know, Bertie, if you want to address this, or Mr. Baker. Looks like he's still on, but I have it in my, there it is. We were impacted by excessive rain, tornado damage, and wind damage, down power lines and trees, and public structure damage and life safety issues. We declared the local disaster emergency exists in the county, and that we declared invoked and declared those portions of the Indiana Code which are applicable to conditions and have caused the issuance of this proclamation to be in full force and effect in the county. And this was for 7 days. This idea is, of course, that it may make us eligible for some funding, either through the state or even potentially the federal government. We shall see. But if anybody has suffered damage and needs funding or funding assistance, they should go to the emergency management webpage or call them, and they can give you information based on the kinds of situation that you're dealing with. And I know we've also had a lot of money spent out of highway and in overtime and equipment. So I don't know if we can recoup any of that with FEMA. Who knows? I mean, the money's there at the beginning of the year and then it goes. And once it's gone, it's gone. They don't really apportion out for various seasons, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens with all of that. But we did have to have this in place in order to do that. Ms. Purdy signed for me because I did not have a printer where I was. Right. So I appreciate that. Anything else? No. All right. Thanks to our Sheriff's Department.
Yes.
Thank you to our Highway Department. Thank you to Emergency Management, Red Cross, everybody that helped out. We got through it. Let's hope we don't have to do it again. All right. Any public comment on this item? Raise your hand on Teams. Mr. Baker, thank you. Anything else you need to add? Thank you so much.
Yes, so the State Disaster Relief Fund is open for applications from people who were impacted by the tornado, if they are underinsured or uninsured. So that application process is going on. It is a bunch of applicants from all the disasters that happened within the whole state from January 1st. But applications are open, and they can go to the application. It's posted on the county website, on the press releases that we sent out, or also on our social media page, Facebook.
Great.
So that's one big thing that's going on. And I did talk to Jamie, and if needed, we can extend the dumpsters beyond the 8th if needed. I'm gonna drive out today and check out to see if they're being used and stuff. So we'll keep you updated if that's needed.
Great. So if you do decide to extend, just make sure to post it, and we'll get it on
Yes.
our homepage as well. Especially if it could be done before the weekend, that would be even better because we're off tomorrow. But yeah, thank you so much. So folks can go to the emergency management webpage or call the office for further information about those applications for assistance. Thank you. All right. Seeing no other public comment, all those in favor of ratifying our emergency declaration of June 18th, 2026, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. And one of the things that became apparent to me was when I first started as a commissioner back in December 2012, emergency declarations were rare.
Absolutely.
Rare. And now I feel like a couple of years normal.
Yeah.
It's I mean, this is what climate change is. It doesn't come on all of a sudden. It creeps up on you, but it's expensive.
I think this is the 3rd since I took office.
Believe. Yeah. COVID, well, that was the whole year and a half.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would say typically it was snow too.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
now it's not.
It was not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe
That's
this
true.
was the 4th.
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
had that. Yeah, we had 2 tornadoes of snow and the.
Yeah, and this.
Yeah.
This is the 4th. Yeah.
Crazy. All right. I just wanted to add that in there. It's a little anecdotal evidence of how things have changed. I do want to remind folks that we do have office hours, and look what can happen. You can get utility vehicles allowed on some county roads as a result. So join us. Go to the calendar on our homepage, in.gov/county/Monroe, and check out the calendar and join us. If you have comments, if you have questions, if there's anything we can help you with, we will do so. It's been amazing to me how much this has helped. Sometimes I'm just explaining code for zoning, or sometimes it's really something where we can make a substantive change to our code to help people out. I do also want to remind folks that we are under an extreme heat warning, and that will continue. But if you want to receive information from Monroe County government about any emergencies, you can sign up for our resident alert system right on our homepage. I also do want to encourage people to go ahead and think about, especially if you have a little time this summer, think about boards and commissions, and if you would like to become part of Monroe County government and lend your expertise. I know our traffic commission was part of that utility vehicle discussion as well. So we are on holiday tomorrow for the 4th of July celebration. I do want to wish everyone a happy 4th of July from all of us at Monroe County government. There is a parade Saturday morning at 10 a.m. where it's only supposed to be like, 86? Yeah.
With full humidity.
Yeah, at 10 a.m. Yeah, it's going to be hot. So just bring more water than you think you need.
Right.
A
It'll
reminder.
be a great parade.
Yeah. A reminder that the Monroe County Fair continues through July 5th. The fireworks for the community they're postponed till September.
Yes.
September.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just making sure I understand.
That's correct.
Yeah. It was we had storms that night. It was a week ago Friday. Yeah, we had storms. Yeah, it was raining. But you can look around on Visit Bloomington's website to see other. I know Lake Lemon's doing theirs, and there's some other folks that charge or don't charge. Ellettsville's doing one.
Yep, there's surrounding counties too.
Yeah, So if you really got to go see fireworks, do it. My dog and I will be hiding from fireworks per usual. He gets very scared. Yeah, not good. Not good for wildlife. I'm just going to say it. Anyway, I also want to mention that I had a really amazing experience last week. At Pantry 279, they'd received a grant for 2 semi-truckloads of food, 40 tons of food each. And they had a little ceremony, and it's really nice. This came out of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints across the nation. They did some fasting and put their money together and made this happen, and there were 250 places that got food. That each 40-ton semi is 33,000 meals.
Wow.
They are going to be through it quick, though. They have been struggling. Pantry 279 has been struggling. Hoosier Hills Food Bank, everybody's been struggling because food insecurity is really high right now. We've got kids home from school who aren't on their lunch programs. We've got all kinds of situations where the cost of food, gas, all of those things are just putting the basics out of reach for people. So if you have anything to spare, please remember all of these food organizations. I know we're doing something through the Sophia Travis grant, but boy, it's not enough. It's just not enough. And then again, a reminder that the roll-off containers are up and out at Liberty Church, Mount Pleasant Church, and the entrance to Morgan Monroe Forest. This is the area directly impacted by the tornado. Those will be there at least until the 8th of July and maybe longer, but check back with emergency management if you have any questions. We do not have a work session today. Oh my God, how crazy is that? We are meeting next week.
Yes.
That will be July 9th and at 10 a.m. Anything else for the good of the order?
I have nothing. I just wanted to wish people a safe and happy 4th of July holiday.
Absolutely. I want to thank Mr. Kreider, Alex, everyone who has helped spiffify Monroe County's historic courthouse. It is there's beautiful bunting up, and it's really beautiful. Did a great job. That was just Richard and I walking around in the spring going, what are we going to do for the 4th of July? So that was good. He did a great job. Really brought it to life. And we are going to be on July 11th dedicating a revised plaque for the Monroe County families, dedicated to Monroe County families who were active in hearing our independence, taking part in the American Revolution, who were from Indiana, and that will be on July 11th. So keep an eye out for that. I'll talk about that again next week, but it's a Saturday morning ceremony. So very exciting. All right, everyone, happy, safe 4th. Be well, and we'll be back in a week. We're adjourned. Thanks.